All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to demystify the really important world of child language development. We'll look at what happens when things don't go exactly as planned and explore the amazing support systems that are out there to help every single child find their voice. This question really gets to the heart of it all. For a little kid, communication isn't just about saying words. It's everything. It's how they connect with people, how they learn, how they play. So when that fundamental connection is a struggle, it really does impact every single part of their development. Okay, so let's start decoding this. Before we can even talk about how to help, we need to be super clear on what we're actually talking about. The words we use really matter, and honestly, they get mixed up all the time. This is a big one, right? You hear these three words: speech, language, communication. And a lot of times people use them like they mean the same thing, but they don't. They're actually very different. And figuring out that difference is the first step to understanding where a child might need support. Let's break this down. Think of it like this. Speech is the physical part. It's how you make the sounds. So a child with a speech disorder might be tough for you to understand. Now, language, that's the whole system. The rules, the words, the grammar we use to share our thoughts. A kid could speak perfectly clearly, but maybe struggle to put a sentence together. And finally, communication. That's the big picture. It's the social give and take, using that speech and language to actually connect with another person. And we can get even more specific with language itself. It really has three parts. There's form, that's the structure, the grammar. Then there's content, that's all about meaning, basically the vocabulary a child has. And finally, there's use, which is all about purpose. How does a child actually use language in a conversation to get their point across? So here's a really important question. When does a difficulty become an official disorder? Well, professionals look at this through two different lenses. The first is the naturalistic perspective. This one is all about the data. Is this child's language significantly different from other kids their age? But then there's the normative perspective, and this asks a totally different and maybe more important question. Does this difficulty actually have a negative impact on the child's life? Is it getting in the way of them making friends or learning in school? A real diagnosis isn't just about test scores. It's about seeing the whole picture, the data, and the real-world impact. And that leads us right to the response, because once a disorder is identified, there is this incredibly important time-sensitive window where we can make the biggest possible difference. That response is called early intervention, or EI for short. It's this nationwide system of services specifically for kids from birth up to age 3 who might have a developmental delay. And this whole thing is backed by a federal law called the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, which is supposed to guarantee that this help is there for families who need it. But, and this is a big but, here's the challenge. Just because these critical services exist, that doesn't mean they're reaching everyone. There is a really significant and troubling gap in who actually gets access to them. Just look at this number. Across the country, only 6.8% of kids from birth to 3 are getting these services. Think about that. That means a huge number of children who are likely eligible are missing out during that absolutely critical window for development. And this gap, it starts at the very first step, just getting a developmental screening. You can see it right here in the data. White children are getting screened at a noticeably higher rate than their Black and Asian peers. So the disparity in who gets help begins right at the front door. And the problem doesn't just stop with screenings. As the Education Trust found, children of color are not only less likely to get the services in the first place, but even when they do, they're more likely to face roadblocks and challenges within the system itself. Let this one sink in. At 24 months old, an eligible Black child is 5 times less likely to receive early intervention services than an eligible white child. Not 5%, 5 times. That is a staggering gap in access to care. Okay, those numbers are tough to look at, they're really concerning. But that makes it even more crucial to understand the system that is supposed to work for everyone. For the families who do manage to get connected, there is a clear, federally mandated roadmap to get them help. So, the second a child is referred, a clock starts ticking. I'm serious, it's a legal timeline. A provider has just 7 days to make that referral, then a 45-day clock begins to get the evaluation done and hold that first big meeting. This isn't just a suggestion, it's the law. It's a structured path designed to get support to families quickly. And at the absolute heart of that whole process is this document, the Individualized Family Service Plan, or IFSP. And I want you to notice that F in there for family.
That's not an accident. This isn't just a plan for the kid, it's a plan built with and for the entire family. And that word, family, is honestly the key to understanding the whole philosophy here. It's not about a bunch of experts coming in and telling families what to do. It is about building a real, genuine partnership.
So what does family-centered actually look like? Well, it means the goal is to empower the family, to respect their choices and their unique situation. It's about building on their strengths because the family is always, always seen as the most important member of the team. And a huge part of that partnership means being culturally and linguistically responsive. This isn't just a nice idea, it's a legal requirement. The services have to be culturally competent, meaning they respect a family's beliefs and customs. And all communication, every meeting, every document, has to be in the family's preferred language. It's all about making sure the support isn't just offered, but is truly accessible. And that brings us right back to where we started. We have a system designed to provide life-changing support. We know the principles that make it work: partnership, respect. The huge question that's left on the table for all of us is, how do we close that massive access gap to make sure that every single child, no matter who they are or where they come from, gets the support they need to truly find their voice?